Okay, we're back. I realized in the first half of the video some of the angles weren't super great. Sorry about that. These were the piston ring installers. You saw them briefly, but that's what they look like. And this is what my feeler gauges look like. Again, I think you got a good, decent angle on those, but open those up for you. Okay, so this is your standard stuff we're using here. Okay, we showed you the ARPs. I was trying to think of what other stuff you may not have seen in good focus. For example, make sure you can see those PR4s. Yeah, you see the 50 over right there. Okay, that's pretty much most of the stuff that was rough to see before. What we're gonna do now is actually install the piston. Like I said, I set up the gaps already. While I'm doing some of this stuff off camera, that it'll be obvious to you when you have the tools and stuff like that. I'll be talking about it so you know what's going down. But basically, what's up with this engine, what we're gonna end up doing is, I think it's gonna end up being LSV tech. I wanted to build a LS with pistons, which is what this block would be. And the stars did not align that way. I got different stuff for this car and for at least this motor and all kinds of stuff. This bottom bolt, you have to take this off. Obviously, you got to take this apart. These bottom two bolts are 13s. Okay. So, but I think it's going to end up being an LSV. Anybody that's here on the page watching the video that probably seen this block a couple of times probably figured it out, or was probably thinking I was going to go turbo with the compression because I got the oil feed on there. But nope, we're doing the traditional. I mean, LSV has been popping for years, man. You know, that is the even people that don't know anything about Hondas, you know what I'm saying, talking about LSV tech. So, you know. Okay. Ooh, this one came right off. Look at that. I just pulled it. The last couple ones did not do that. Okay. It did not come right off. You want to lubricate this. Boom, 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 boom. Lube. Engine lube. Whatever you use. We already talked about how I'm a child and what mine is, right? If we didn't, you knew I was going to show you again. I'm a child. Okay. Got my lube on there. Next. I went with ACL bearings. I don't know. I set the box up with all the other used parts, so I know it, you know. Kaboom skis. You're just going to clip this puppy in there, man. This is, no idiots required for this one. And just fit it as best you can. I'm fighting it right now because it's not where I want it to be. I think I showed you this before, but when I do this, I try to make sure that bam and bam, okay? There's a hole here. If you see it, there's a hole right there. I've got to line up, okay? Boom, clip it back in. And then I put a little lube on the top of the bearing as well. Hiya, hiya. Oh, you know, I see that, okay? Lube it up. Okay, now, next step. This is kind of awkward, I guess you could call it, but you can do this. There's different options here. There is an installer that is a clamp or band style. I do not prefer that. I've never used it, so I can't say that it's trash, but I've never used it. I use these. I got this from a guy online, eBay. This thing is dope as hell. The price is right, okay? IBT products, I believe. Gave you the plug, dog. But no, I really like this. It's 3D printed. I just lubed up in here. Action, okay? So what we're gonna do now is I'm gonna stand the motor back up, but you'll see what happens. The sleeve sits on top right here. I'm gonna drop the piston down, and as the piston's going down, it's gonna compress the rings, and I'll be able to slide onto the crank there, okay? We have not showed you how smooth this crank turns yet, so we'll do that real quick before we start moving the motor around. Come down here. I gotta hold it because the thing's not in there. This thing is nice, man. Okay? This thing is nice and smooth. Okay? What we're gonna do is bring number 1 to the top, because in your 4-cylinder setup, boom, okay, in your 4-cylinder setup, 1 and 4 come up at the same time. We want to crank as close as we can to the top, since we're going to drop the piston in, and we'll know that it'll be flat with the deck because of number 1. Okay, I'm about to start working. Just keep your eyes on it. Keep your eyes on it, man. Don't miss it, man. Don't miss it, baby. Where's this thing? It's not going to be perfect at first. I try to, but you'll see why in just a second. Bam. Let me get my assembly. Hilarious. As soon as I'm videoing it. Guaranteed, as soon as I start talking about something else, it's my life, dude. Okay. So here's the thing for today. My ARP stuff is kind of crusty. I have more. So we'll get rid of this. We'll open a fresh boy. If it's the same, that's fine. Who cares? Go grab that. Now I'm going to show you the tool that you really don't need. Now you don't need this thing, man. The shower. Yeah, this ain't don't feel as crusty. Look. This stuff move around a little bit better. Ooh. Okay. And go. What you need to do at this point. Okay. We've already did our bearing. There's no lube up here. What the hell? There's no lube on the top part. Let's do that. Wipe my hand off. Okay. We're lubed up. Okay. You're going to need these. I'm going to install them first and then show you what I'm talking about. You do not need anything super fancy to do this job here. What you need is 2 of these. I think this is fuel line hose. Yes, fuel line hose. Looks like 5/16 fuel line hose. I don't know how long enough. The reason why is because when you're dropping this down, you don't want this to hit the crank. I'm sorry, you don't want this to hit the crank. Okay? When you're dropping this down, this rubber tube gets you down in there, then you can reach underneath and work on it. So here we go. Oh, the other thing. So this kind of, you don't need to know this, but you'll know this, you know. If you're looking at your parts, right, because remember I told you to match up what side to what side, you can just match the number now, okay? But don't have to worry about it particularly. Whoa, I don't know what happened. Why did it go? Hold on, let's get you back in the mix here. Pull you back in. Okay. The thing about it is, this arrow right here. You see this arrow? That arrow points to the timing side. To the timing side. Okay? So far in building this motor, I read this somewhere, I feel like, but I can't find where again, so I don't know if I made it up. But so far, building this motor, what I've come to the conclusion of is when you're putting parts together and you see an arrow, the arrow points to the timing side. Obviously, I know this because I'd be able to look at another piston and see that. But if you ever confuse or don't know, or you're starting with number 1, you're trying to figure it out, the arrow on the piston, at least for B series, point to the timing side. If I saw some crazy thing where on a single cam, I think F22 Honda, you could put K20 pistons in the other way, like the arrow pointing away, but I didn't research it. So we'll see what's up with that. Let's get this piston in there, okay, and I'll show you the next tool that you need. I got my arrow pointing to timing side. Let me see, can y'all see it? Not really. So all I did was put these 2 tubes in between here, find where my arrow is. Boom, you see the thing moving, right? The piston ring installer. Boom, and I just drop this hoe down. Now the other thing that's nice is, what you really want is them tubes down there to be long enough so that when you reach down, you can touch them. That way, if you drop this piston, how I'm dropping it, and it compresses the rings, how it's compressing them. Make sure this is set up there. So that's the thing. You got to get this thing lined up. See, my piston's not lined up. Okay, there, I think I'm better there. There it is, okay? So now, as I'm pushing this thing down, okay, I'm reaching underneath here. Let's see if the camera's pointing there. No, you can't really see. So let me show you this. Oh, that was good. Okay, I'm reaching underneath. You can kind of see already. The tube is right here, okay? So I'm gonna tap the piston down. Let's hold you up for a sec. I'm gonna tap the piston down, the tube sticking out underneath so it doesn't shloonk and just fly to the bottom, you know what I'm saying? And then it'll be on there. Now remember, we already put a bearing on the one side. So next tool, and you're really supposed to use the bottom part. A hammer. Actually, I have the thing you're really supposed to use. Supposed to use the bottom handle or something like this and knock it down. So let's get this hoe in there and put my hand underneath. Tap it in. There we go. I could feel a little bit contact, okay? But all I did was take this. I know it's hard because of the camera angle, but now you can see. Bam. All I did was just take this and tap. Doop, 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 doop. Once it got lined up, it went right down in there. We're going to get your angle back up. Now, you'll be able to see. I'm going to take this off. See? That came right off because this is down in there now. And then, put this back. See if we can angle these again. Actually, that's not bad. We'll use this angle right here. All right, and this piston is now at the deck height. I can see that it's very similar to where this is. This is, if that's not top dead, that's damn close. Okay, so that's there. Okay, we have to flip it over because remember, now we got to do the cap. Okay, so first thing we're gonna do in this scenario is open our new lube so it's ready to go. We'll flip this motor over. Let's do that for you. See what you can see. Oh, nice. Nice. You guys can see pretty good. Okay, so now at this angle here, you see what we're working with, right? Bing bang. First thing we're gonna do is get our lube ready. I'm going a little bit slower so I can make sure you guys can see. So we can see that. My lube isn't open. What an idiot. Too many things going on at once. Got it. Oh, yeah, this is a bit less crusty than the other stuff. Yeah, I would say so. Okay, bing, bing. And we're going to pull these off. Okay, remember you can pull because there's a bearing on that side, so that's okay. Pull those off. Pistons installed down in there. Bam. Now, trick of the day for this. Couple of things. Number one, let me grab my flashlight. Again, remember, the cap has to be matched up. It's never a bad idea to double check, okay? I always get the light now and look for the side, where's the cap? And I'm now going to look real quick just to make sure that everything's good for the side where that little number should match. This is piston number 4. You can kind of see my number 4 here, but I'm going to make sure so I can put this on right. So I'm going to get the light. Come up here. I see the 4 is on this side. Okay, the 4 is on the top side. I can see it. Okay, that 4 is up there. Okay, that's a 4 on the block on the inside, but on the rod there's a 4 on the inside, or on the outside, as you saw. So what we're gonna do now is get this. Where's oh, there we go. We're gonna lubricate, getting the end cap ready. Bam. Oh. Done that. Almost misplaced the last bearing. That would have been awful. These are ACLs. Remember, we just pop them in. Okay. She's in. We'll lube this side and pop it on. Again, check your number. 4 is right there. Now you got to be careful with this. A couple reasons. Don't want to drop it. That's number 1. Number 2 is most people's hands don't really fit that great. Mine get on there pretty good. Just push her down. Bam. Alrighty. Now the trick now. You've seen the install just happen. The trick now, push it down, push. This right here is, it says that you remember the directions over here of the ARPs is what we're using, is using ARP Ultra Torque Fastener Assembly Lubricant. You want to put the nuts on. Problem is, right, now they're down in the block. Okay, nuts are down in the block. So what do? The trick that I saw is you don't try to put them on the stud. You just put it right on the, what the hell? Bam. You just put it right on there. Especially because you don't want to get a bunch inside your block. Now it gets a little messy. I'm not one that's ever been very good working with gloves. So there's that. The dog is currently in my way, but you gotta kind of reach down in here. It's very difficult. I think I'd be better with the engine standing straight up, so I'm gonna do it that way. Kind of reach with. Got it. It's like right at the end of my reach. Start that one. Same deal with this guy. See, I just touched the crank with my hand. You have to stand on the other side. Got it. All right. Wipe my hands off real quick. Where'd my rag go? With the freak? Okay, and there's some sticking with this thing. On the top of it, okay. Next step. I use a quarter to tighten them down. I tried this, right? I tried to do this with electric wrench to see if it would go faster. It's not. I don't feel like it's a good idea because you know as those electric wrenches get tighter and tighter and tighter, it like I don't really have a feel for like how tight it is. Remember, he's only supposed to be 26. I don't think that my wrench will do 26 like that, but you know, why? Okay, let's turn this a little bit more, and let's see if we can get you guys some light situation. Yep, you can see it. All right, so we're working them two. They're 13s, remember? Remember, don't go nuts because I couldn't push that both sides all the way down. But see, you can see on the other studs how it really is. You know, take some of this shit off here. Okay, you can see how deep the other studs actually go. So though you don't have to like trip about it. Okay, and are they both hand tight? Yep. Okay, that one I like to look at it, make sure the caps are touching, so that way I don't do a whoops on when I'm torquing. No, looks like yeah, that guy's good. Okay, so now it's time to torque it. What I like to do is, knowing that they're hand tight, sometimes I rotate the motor, sometimes I don't. That's it. That's all I have to say. This is already set to 26. Turn it on. Okay. Don't hammer these. Let's talk about this real quick. With the extension, the reason why I turned this up, and I might even turn it up like another half pound. Nope, not a half, but something like that is. The further you get away from this point, direct on here, this is not super duper 100 gazillion% accurate. I've seen tons of techs. I've seen tons of techs put stuff together with extensions on torque wrenches, and it's fine. So it's not that significant, but it's got to be significant enough to be a thing. Right? But all I do is keep a little bit of pressure on here. You're gonna have to stop the stand from moving at some point. Right now, I'm just turning it. I feel it getting tight. I don't love that because I want both sides to be square, so I'm going to do the other side. Look over here. Make sure I'm square on the bolt now. See, it didn't feel great. Go this way. There. So we're both at 12, so now we're going to come back over here. It's probably more accurate when it's not a long, what's the name to? See, this skipped right now because this angle sucks. So we'll turn the crank a little bit. Right there. Okay. 26, remember? My wrench has a vibration as well. I like it at 20. See, I gotta put my foot in front of the stand or something. Let's go right here. Boom, vibrated, I stopped. Okay, I can see that it's good on that side. Let's do the same thing here. Boom, hit the vibration. Done so. That's it. You're now spinning 9,000 RPMs. So that was it. You know what I'm saying? I can shut this light off now. Okay. What you're supposed to do, which I did, you guys were not here for all 4 pistons. I've obviously done the other 3 the same way. Okay. Is what you're supposed to do is every time you do one piston, you should do this. And rotate this motor. That way you know if it gets stuck or something's happening, you know what's going on. Okay? But this thing is good to go. Wait, let's wait for the laundry machine. So rude. What a song, remix. Okay? So now check me out. We're done. Your bottom end is pretty much assembled. There's a lot of small little things that you need to put back. I'll have to put this guy in, right? For your oil pump. But I said I was going to film oil pump. I don't think I am. Reason being, it's so freaking easy. You guys you can figure it out. It's so easy. I'll show you the oil pump though. Actually, it's not just yet. It's finished talking. He was talking about. But that's it. We're done. Bottom end is pretty much assembled. There's a tray that goes down there. I know you took it apart, and if you didn't, you have a manual. And if you have neither of those, you're a tech, and you know what you're doing. You're just watching this for fun and helping me out with the view, so thanks. Excuse me. That's my wrench turning off. But there's only a few other small parts that need to go in here. This thing is VTEC ready, man. Even if you're not a big VTEC guy, if you want to build a non-VTEC head and slap that thing on here, this thing will turn it. This thing will hold it. I think that this, if you ask me, I think that this is the #1 thing that some guys should do that want to build or that are new, that want to get into the game. That's why I am showing this and doing this. I think that these LS blocks and B20 blocks even, which are the same way, are pretty easy to put together as I showed you. And once you change a few parts, okay, in there, like we changed rod bolts and stuff, you don't have to do mains, but you can. But once you change a few parts, the rod bolts and the bearings, okay, just because it says B1 on the outside, and especially if you change the pistons like we did in this one, let's turn her over. Okay. VTEC line all over the place. Okay, especially if you change the pistons like we did in ours. What's the difference, right? It's the same thing. And as a matter of fact, the rod stroke ratio is a little bit, well, air quotes, stronger or better for torque than the VTEC motor. So, I mean, you have yourself a nice little block here. I say you, but I have myself a nice little block here. And that's kind of why I wanted to show this. This is not crazy expensive. And especially now in 2023, I'm making this video. Especially now, the price of a VTEC bottom end, the price of a VTEC motor is ridiculous in the first place. But the price of a VTEC bottom end, just that is a lot. And yeah, that's really why. I mean, it's just really expensive. You can pull this out of a junkyard. You can buy a blown one. This is my second blown one that I've put together. My other one does not have pistons, but you know what I mean? You can do this. This is very doable. Most of the parts are bolt-on, and the stuff that's not bolt-on, I just showed you how to do it. I literally just showed you. Okay? So think about that. I mean, I probably estimate you can probably build this bottom end, just the bottom end. You could put a stock head on this and have a good time. A stock LS head on top of this would be fun. Okay? Some stage 1 or stage 2s would be even fun. Okay? In 2023, they call it spicy. Okay? It would be a spicy LS. But And obviously you wouldn't have, or you could still run this. This could just be oil pressure. But in any event, yeah, you could just slap that together and go, you know. That's, I think price-wise, I think I was talking, trying to think. I think probably for all the upgraded parts, maybe there's 700 in this bottom. The pistons, remember, this one doesn't have a rod upgrade, so just pistons. I got it honed, and the rod bolts, you know. So with all that and cleaning and and resurface, right? With all that resurface, $700. I think you can get you could probably get a LS head, a good one, for $100, 150 with everything, cams, caps, everything, and throw it together and be good to go. So, you know what I mean? You can really get in the game for cheap, and then now after that, all you're talking about is the bolt-on stuff, the intake pipes, and all that good stuff, and the radiators, all stuff you need, and mounts. You can slow get that stuff. You can auto. Well, we don't say autos on no more, but you can Duralast that. You can O'Reilly's that. You can CarQuest that type of stuff. So that's what's up with that. We'll show you this. A couple more things. Don't know if I talked about it before it's like class, before I let y'all go. You know what I'm saying? This one, what the freak? Okay. Another thing you should know when you get parts. See this one? P72 in the code. See this one? PR4 in the code. LS, VTEC. It's that simple. If you need to know the difference for real, and you don't have this part number, and you're not sure, and you don't this, and this, count the teeth. Okay, more teeth, VTEC. It's that simple. You want a factory style one. Okay, I'm gonna put this on. Like I said I was gonna do oil pump. I probably won't because it's very, very easy. This is what brand I'm going with here. Only reason why I got it was because it was $100. And a bunch of guys at work that build the Chevys and all that stuff, they said that it's a good brand. Those cars have been being built for a long, long time, so got to be decent enough. That's what we're doing with that. Oil pump. To quick show you how to do that, because I'm not showing you, is you need to trace the whole outside with your sealant. Trace it, bolt it on. Make sure the O-ring does not get pinched. It'll be very obvious if you decide to do an oil pump, especially on a motor that's out of the car. Keep watching. Thanks for coming through. Our next video we'll be showing you how to get this thing basically together and in the car mode, in VTEC mode and all that stuff. So this thing's ready to go. We'll throw this oil pump on there, an oil pickup tube, and we showed you all that stuff. I think I showed you the old pickup. I showed you that. Thanks for hollering, man. We appreciate yous, and stay tuned. And before you know it, this thing might be in a car. Anybody that's really looking might have seen something in the top left-hand corner of the second half of the video. So you never know.